So today we're going to talk about polygyny, not to be confused with polygamy, although it is a form of polygamy. Polygyny is when the man is able to have multiple wives, whether it be 2, 3, 4, whatever, right? The woman, it's not fathomable for a woman to exercise those options. That's just not out. That's out altogether. So what I wanted to talk about is, as a woman, do you think it's acceptable for a man to exercise those type of options? And we're not talking about a regular man. We're talking about a man of means, a man who checks all the boxes, right? Because we're not going to talk about, because we understand that, well, at least I would gather, and you let me know if you feel any different about it, if a regular dude could get that off. But we're not talking about a regular dude per se, unless you deem a regular dude is able to do that. But I want you to know, a man of means, a man who checks every single box, who does everything you need him to do, who's absolutely financially set. He's ripped, jacked, right? He's charismatic, has all the looks, everything that you would want in a man. Can you deal with him dealing with other women? What do you think?
So, what are the boxes and what is a regular man?
Whatever your boxes are. If you like a handsome man, if you like a rich man, if you like a charismatic man, if you like a man who smells good, he checks all the boxes.
And what is a regular man? The opposite?
Why are you making me pull teeth?
Right.
Listen, so
Because if I'm going to
break
answer
it
your
down. Hold on,
question, I want to know
you.
what you're asking me.
I got you covered. Your dream guy who checks all your boxes personally, everything that you ever wrote down as a checklist or ever thought of or knew that you would not tolerate. This guy has everything that you personally are looking for, does everything that you want in a man.
Okay. That? Are you asking me a question?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your question?
So my question is, this man that checks every single box, how do you feel about him exercising his options in polygyny? And when I say polygyny, it's different from polygamy, right? Whereas the man can actually date multiple women, marry multiple women. And let's say, even if you had the option to be a main, you could explain that if you would be a main or wouldn't be a main. But I would love to know, how do you feel about that? Is this something that you would be able to deal with on your everyday life? Is this something that is good for you?
As a person who is not experienced with that lifestyle, I'm not even educated enough or experienced enough to say, this is something I could deal with. This is something I can't deal with. I know that we often say, yeah, I can do that. But then when you get into it and the details and the nuances pop up, then all of a sudden you're like, I don't know about that. Wait, hold on. He bought her the same dress? All those little things end up popping up. So no, I'm not experienced enough to say if that's something I would be comfortable with, but I am always open to learning.
So you'd be open to learning?
Learning, but learning doesn't mean, hey babe, can you go out and bring a bunch of women and let me learn what this feels like? It doesn't look like that. But I have never even heard of the term polygyny before. I low-key feel like you just made that up, but I'm just but yeah, it's, you know what, I don't subscribe to people's relationships looking a certain way. I feel like whatever works for you and your partner, y'all do that. If it involves multiple people, do it. Have fun in this life, because at the end, I think when people are on their deathbeds, I don't think they ever say, damn, I'm so mad. Everybody been thinking what they've been thinking about me. No, you don't care what people thought about you at the end. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that you want to do, go out there and live this life. And if for some reason you do end up at a pearly gates, which I don't believe in that stuff, if that is what happens, then you took your chance, you deal with it, just like everything else in life that has consequences. If you end up burning for infinite eternity, then
let's not
take,
go over the tangent.
Take some water with you. You know what I'm saying?
Stay where we're at. So as it is right now, from what you said, I gather that that's a no for you, because maybe you're not educated enough and it scares the shit out of you.
No,
right?
I'm not afraid.
It sounds like that to me, because
I'm not scared.
You're not ready for that. Okay.
No, don't put things on me, Trev.
Okay. I'm just telling you how I heard it.
No,
I'm not saying that's what you said. I'm just saying that's how I heard it, right?
Well, I'm helping you unhear what you heard. The thing is, I'm not experienced in that to say. It's kind of like being a business owner. You know how people are like, we talked about this recently. People are like, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to own a business. I want to do lashes, whatever. But then when you go in, you realize I have to post constantly. I have to pay the IRS every 3 months. I have to do this, I have to do that. You don't always know what it's going to take out of you. So
Has the man you loved ever cheated on you?
yeah. I've cheated too, Daryl.
So, like, if the man you loved and maybe at that
Well,
point
not
in time,
the man I love, a man I loved.
but at the time it was the man.
Yes.
You know, and it hurt you, right?
Yeah,
So,
of course.
you know, like, so I think from that perspective, you do have a little bit of experience in that, you know, again, like he may not have started off the relationship saying this is polygyny. I think at the end of the day, if that was a relationship, and you know, he lied, but also, you know, whether did you stay with him or?
But I think cheating is a completely different ballgame.
I think it is
Because cheating is we're breaking an
understand.
agreement, as opposed to polygyny would be we are agreeing that this is our lifestyle.
Right.
That's a completely different thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I think on a go forward basis, when you think about polygyny, thinking about the man that you love that checks off all those boxes, right? Him being with somebody else, not breaking a promise, but just, you know, you will have at least that perspective to answer the question. You know,
no.
For me, you know,
I'm sorry, sweetie. No.
Okay.
And that wasn't even a you check all the boxes type of situation anyway.
Gotcha.
No, I think you have to be in that situation to know. Because how many women do you know are like, I'm not looking for anything. We can mess around. It's cool. But then when you start this whole mess around relationship, all of a sudden you're catching feelings because you're now wired for that. And you don't even know what you would be cool with until you're in it. Or, yeah, babe, you can go off. But then all of a sudden you see the other girl, you're like, damn, my ass is fat. Or whatever. And all of a sudden you're catching feelings. You will never know how you truly feel about something. I like hypotheticals. Don't get me wrong. I love hypotheticals.
No, look, I'm going to stop you right there. And I'm just
but it's not realistic. How do you know until you're in it?
But this is what I want to say. I feel like you tried to give the ultimate safe answer because you didn't stand on any side of it, and you're not expected to. But just the lingo, right? For you to say, I don't know enough about it. Oh, I don't judge it.
I've never even heard the word before. That wasn't
the question. The question was, do you think it's acceptable for a man to be able to do that if you were in that situation? And we don't know because
right.
We understand that. But let's say, I just want to know what you think, right? Nobody's going to hold you to it.
And that's why I asked the question.
I'm not going to go get you a guy.
Right.
I'm not going to go get you a guy right now and put him on your lap and say, this is what it is. I'm just saying, what do you think as it is right now? Like, let's just say this was the scenario. You're in the scenario now. And what you gonna do? Like, just hypothetically, it's just a hypothetical. We're not gonna hold you to it. I swear, I'm not gonna hold you to it.
You swear?
I swear.
Pinky swear.
I swear. Pinky
Let me
swear.
see all your pinkies. Let me see your pinky. Okay, you have a long pinky. That works. All right.
I think for me though.
Hold up. No.
What you mean? Hold up.
We about to get no.
She already answered. She's not down with that.
I wanted to at least afford her the opportunity to keep it G, real quick, even if it's a short answer.
I like that you said my answer is safe, but unfortunately for you, it's the truth. And I would have to learn more. Like, even the term polygamy, there's so many terms that are swinging around in the air. I don't even know the definitions.
You know what? All that would be fine and well if I didn't literally break down exactly what I was talking about, right? Listen, all I'm asking is to stay in a line, right?
Hold up. Wait. No, she did finish. You're trying to wait. No, I'm not even saying my perspective of this, but I'm going to defend what she's saying. She's saying that you're trying to give her a hypothetical, right? And that's fine. That's fine. Hypotheticals are fine. But her answer was her honest perspective. She's saying, I don't know if I would be okay with polygamy because I haven't experienced it. She's saying I would want more knowledge as to what this is in order for me to give you an honest answer. You're asking her to lie to you.
No.
Because she's telling you she doesn't know enough about it.
I got you.
I think that's fair.
I'm going to let you breathe. I'm going to let you breathe.
That's fair.
Okay, all right.
So, but this is, all right, we're going to phrase the premise. The question is going to be phrased differently now. We not what you know. I'm going to say it, but I want you to pay attention to this part. What do you think? That's it. Just what you think. right? What you think. It doesn't have to be you, and we're not going to hold you to it. I swear.
She said
again,
both what she thinks and what she feels.
All right.
Okay,
so,
I'm just saying. Right.
Okay, Layla Grace, since you have so much to say, what do you think about this?
I have my thoughts on it. I was just defending a point because you're trying to come at her like she said she articulated herself.
I think it's because I'm Guyanese and
really
he
well.
wants to bring off my accent.
I think. I was trying to get you to say skunt, but we're gonna.
Wow.
Terrible. But go ahead, Layla Gray.
I was gonna let her go.
No, it's all good. He already cut my time.
She had
that's
her chance.
terrible.
Right.
That's terrible. All right. So as far as polygamy goes, my thoughts and feelings on it. At one point in time in my life, I was in a polygamous relationship. I was. And I'm not.
This is what Trev wanted. This is
I guess this is what you wanted. I guess this is what you wanted. When I was younger, I was in a polygamous relationship, like around the time like 20 to 22, and I'm not gonna say it was bad. It was absolutely functional because I came into it knowing what it was. All of the women that were involved with this guy was like
so that means more than two.
Yeah, it was a total of 3 of us. Yeah.
Okay.
So all of us that were involved, it was tight knit. Everyone was STD checked from the door. The wife had to choose that's how it had to go. The wife had to choose the guy wasn't the one going out picking the women. The wives were the one picking the women. He was like, if the wives didn't approve of the women, of whatever woman, they weren't allowed to come into the community. That's how it was. So all of us, out of the 3 women, we were tight. We were all cool. We knew each other.
Hold on, time out. That part, we're not going to just gloss over that part, right? So you're saying that he couldn't pick, but the ladies had to pick.
That was his preference.
His preference was okay.
His preference was to let his women pick. So
you won't get along with him.
So that because it's a community.
That's actually smart.
It's a community. It's not just it was a relationship.
Well, I got to do a follow-up question to that. Do you consider while choosing these women what it is that he did or not?
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, like all of us had very similar personalities. So there was, of course, like if there was a situation where we bring someone in, it wasn't like we didn't have one of those like what you see on TV, like a bunch of people in and out. There was like the 3 of us and we were solid and that was it. All of us had similar personalities, but there were differences about us that he liked for different reasons. And it worked. We functioned all together and it was cool. Like, it wasn't a bad dynamic, but we came into it knowing what it was. We would be like, this is my sister wife. Like that was what we were. We were sisters and wives. We got our nails done together. He would get all our nails done, all our hair done. Everything would happen together.
Trev and it was loving this. Look at Trev.
It was like really actually, I swear to God, it was actually a dope dynamic and it all like worked out. And the only reason we all kind of broke up is because career-wise, we all started doing different things. So it was like a natural separation. It wasn't even like I hate you, we're fighting, we're arguing. I'm still cool with some of these girls as of today. So
why you mention that? And that's a whole thing. Yeah. Because I don't think it's just for everyone, right?
It's not for everyone. And I realize I'm
gonna tell you what. You see that because you were career driven. That's why I kind of mentioned a man of means, right? Because if it was a man of means, y'all ain't worried about no damn career.
Well, but that's not true because the thing is, all of us wanted to do different things in our life. Just because our dude was taking care of us, as I said, hair done, nails done, all the bills paid. We all lived together in the same house. We one of them, 2 of us had kids. I had a kid. The other girl had a kid. We had constant childcare rotation.
But I think his point, the man was still dispensable though. The man was still dispensable. Like y'all, like he must have not checked up all the boxes.
No, he did. But the thing was, after a certain period of time,
if he was able to walk away from him and he was taking care of all the means,
no, he was okay, but the thing was, not all of us wanted to move out of the country. In order to be, some of us wanted to move.
Yes, you skipped that. We're missing information. Yeah, you were withholding information. He wanted to move to the country.
He was in the military. He had to leave.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, that's
so it was career.
You can't leave that type of information.
It was a career. Okay, whatever. So that's what happened. It was a career. It was a career thing.
Okay,
it was a career thing. So and we all kind of we're like, all right, well, we're just gonna kind of.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, if he breaking bread, he taking care of you.
No, we were all taking care care of. It was a dope dynamic, but you know, he had to leave, and that was what it was. No hard feelings. We all kind of went our different ways, and I tried it. It worked. What I liked about it, I think it was more so about him and how he handled it. It wasn't random females because he was horny and he just wanted to be with whoever. You know what I mean? He let us make friends, and we would all go to the bar. It started with just me and the one girl. We would go to a bar together. We would talk to people and whatever, and we would feel people.
That's why
out.
he failed.
We would feel what?
That's why he failed.
What do you
Who
mean?
the hell would go pick up wifey in a bar?
It wasn't. We picked her up at
what
the bar.
What is going on with Trev? What's happening right now?
We didn't pick the girls up at the
Saturday.
bar. We would go to bars together. We would go to clubs together. We would have fun together. It was a dynamic where it was all inclusive. You know, it was us and
all
him.
Inclusive.
And one thing that he made sure to say in the beginning is, before anyone touches anyone, everyone has to get tested because we are sharing.
Yeah.
And that was a thing that I respected enormously. So
what was the purpose for him sharing?
And because he's in the military, he can't be sick.
Yeah,
so they would literally kick him out.
Especially
so
since
I know
he
was adamant, and that's his bread maker. So he's not trying to mess that up.
I see where Daryl is coming from. I see where you're coming from. Because he's not even choosing them. They're choosing each other.
That's why I'm asking. Like, what was his point of sharing y'all? Because like, was like, you know, when you think of polygyny, you think of a man being at the center of it all, and he's choosing the woman he wants, and y'all gotta be okay with it.
Well, the thing, to give you clarity
from what I understand from your definition.
But again, polygamy is an umbrella term. It's about how the couple works it out, like whatever the relationship dynamic is. I know girl, one off of the top of my head, her dude that was polygamous picked all his wives. My dude that was polygamous let his wives pick the next wife. After there was two of us, the third one was picked by us. He just
accepted whoever
came. Yeah, he picked us too. We agreed on it. And then the third one was one we picked.
I think there's always going to be, like in anything in life, there's always going to be levels and a pecking order to anything. So for me, it's like, I don't understand why any man would just, if that's like, if a man's letting her pick, regardless, that's one thing. But he has to be. There's some way for him to exert, like,
I mean, it's not like
dominance as a man in the situation.
But that's the thing. It's not like so. Even though we picked the next wife, he had to get to know her too. If he didn't like her, she's gone. It's not like, oh, we like her, we keep her, we're fighting. We all accepted the fact the final decision was his, but it was our decision on who was next in.
That's what I was trying to
It wasn't like he was just settling
like
with
he was
whoever.
just doing whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't just settling with whatever.
To me, like a certain type of man wouldn't really check off them type of boxes because that's a lack of confidence that I would see. A man just allow any woman to just rule his life and do whatever.
No. He wasn't.
I don't take y'all to be them type of women that just walk all over your man, tell him go sit over there, go do this. Like you want a man to be like, yo, like I'm gonna sit right here right now. Like this is what I want to do.
Yeah, no, there was definitely that level of dominance there. Okay. Like there was no like, oh, you're gonna submit to us. No, he had to get to know the female too. It's like, hey, look, we introduce each other. We go out for coffee, drinks, food, whatever. And there's a dating period. It wasn't like we all just started sleeping with this girl. There was a dating period where we're all going out, getting to know each other. And then from there, it was like, okay, I like her. Let's keep her. And then that's it. We'd have a little huddle. Okay, we're good with this.
You know what?
So I could understand why he did that because, I mean,
it makes sense.
Not to say that I would do that myself because, I can see why Buddy did it though, because what he was thinking about was peace in the household, right? If he allows the women to go ahead and pick it, first off, he was mind effing them only because they were able to, oh, we get to pick. Right. So now you're like, oh, okay. So now it's not such a hard hit. Yeah. It gives them the control.
It makes you feel like a certain sense of control.
So go bring me a joint, pretty much, right? Go fetch me.
Knowing that next month you got to leave.
And then it's going to be somebody you likely get along with, because when you start to get multiple personalities into a household, it gets wicked, right? So three are better, monthlies, 3 are better attitude.
How many women was it at the end?
It just ended with the 3 of us. We didn't go past 3 because we got to a point, like, we're all in the same house, the shower, you don't want to. It's like having
she said the shower.
The shower. Yeah, you don't want
to start getting a bigger house.
Like and for what it's worth, we functioned as 3. Like now we have added.
Layla, hold on, Layla. Can we get his opinion on this?
Yeah,
I want to know
about what I think.
Amen.
What I think
think about it. You're asking the question.
I don't even matter.
Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable being a part of a relationship where you are in a group of men with one wife?
Yeah. That is tricky.
I'm surprised you would even ask me that. Yo, listen.
Yes,
you don't look like somebody who gets surprised.
There is a short answer. Men are not designed to share women.
Oh,
that's just out. First off,
it's designed
right?
now.
No, certainly no. Biologically, yes. That's the truth. We're really not. We're really not. It's a no-go. That's absurd to me. To me, for that you part your lips.
But it
to say
exists.
So you don't want to share your woman.
I will never. I will never.
But you're okay with having multiple?
I didn't say that. I got.
No, I'm asking. Are you?
She's asking.
Yeah. Well, I think it's that very different from men. Absolutely. I think men can function with multiple women. It can function, right?
Like
and I'm not saying that that's
just like women
lifestyle.
can give birth and men can't.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have to acknowledge that there's a difference between, listen, this is how I see the world, and keep riding the idea that we're wired a certain way. Because there was a time when we believed women weren't sexual, right? So instead of riding this biological train, we don't have to do that anymore, because it's not black and white. It is possible that there might be, I've seen women with multiple men who are cool with it. Are you saying that they're not wired as men?
Let me ask you this. Are any of y'all religious or no?
Was she married?
You're not religious?
No.
None of you are
I'm
religious?
more spiritual than religious.
What does that even mean?
Religious is more so you're attached to a religion. You practice what they're practicing. When you're more spiritual, you're more grounded on like energies and things like that. What?
Like a baseline or a reference? Because like, if someone says they're religious, we can go to the Bible.
Okay.
And you will see that there are many men who had multiple wives. There's zero multiple wives. There's no
just because it wasn't spoken about doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
What do you mean,
my love?
Well, no, it was
ever, right?
Oh, no. So that was frowned upon.
Okay, Trev.
Yeah, that was
Trev. It sounds like you keep going to what could potentially be in a textbook or a religious book. So it sounds like you're saying biological, religion. Humans realistically do not exist in those two boxes, right? We have to come out of that. The world is not black and white. There's a huge gray area, which takes up most of the space. There are men who are cool with that. I have seen it. Cool with being one of the men in a relationship with one woman. It exists.
I've never seen
that. Hold on. That may be the case.
It doesn't. It just comes with the men that are more open.
That may be the case.
Right.
That may be the case.
And y'all heard the boss. Let me finish. Hold on. And if you have never heard of it, guess what? We have access to information. You can find out if that's happened or not. Does that mean that those men are not biologically men? That they're not wired to be real men?
Those men who would accept that, one woman having 5 husbands, any man that would accept that ain't the man you'd ever want. Period.
Well, we're not talking about the men that we want. It's a straightforward
you wouldn't
question.
deal with them though. You wouldn't want that. Any woman in her right mind wouldn't want 5 husbands.
But we're not
no
talking
man in his right mind would want to share.
What I want or what women want. My point is,
have you ever done it? Have you ever had 5 men? Have you ever had 5 men? Have you ever had 5 men? You were speaking of hypotheticals. None of y'all would ever do.
No, you're veering away from my point. And my point is not about what I want or what anybody in this room wants. What I'm saying is it exists. And we have to stop acting like, but just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it's not there.
No, I've seen it.
What's your name?
Look, I'm going to say that. I've seen it for sure.
Jova. Okay.
And
Jova has seen it.
No, I've seen it, but I'm telling you, like, but those men that you're talking about definitely have a main shorty. Like, they definitely have a shorty.
So do you
He's just
say
okay with sharing?
Do you say the same thing about women who do that?
Say what?
It seems like there's a deficiency in these men. It's a mosquito. What's happening? What is that? How do you know it's female? Trev knows a lot. Trev knows a lot.
No, we gonna pay attention, all right? Because you saying some slick stuff over there.
I hear what you're saying, but that's in reality that's just not realistic.
You know what I think is happening right now?
I think
you're trying to change.
No, I'm not trying to change
the
anything.
DNA of men and women.
I'm not trying to change
we
DNA.
We are nature. We are who we are. Well,
no.
From the beginning of time to end of time, men will be men and women will be women.
I'm not trying
we'll
to
never
change
change
anything.
that.
I didn't create these things. And I'm also not what I'm speaking on right now, I also didn't create it. I think what's happening is you guys want things to be a certain way so badly that when information shows up that challenges that, it makes you uncomfortable. And instead of saying, you know what, let me learn about that. That might exist.
Because y'all want us to be open to polygyny, right?
But you're but here's the thing: you're pushing back against information that you're admitting you don't know about.
It doesn't really exist. Those are cucks that no woman wants.
And there's so many things that exist that you are unaware about.
And if there is a woman who has 5 men, those 5 men she's sleeping with, they all have 5 women. That's the point. That it's not that she's sharing. It's not that one woman is sharing has 5 men she's sharing. Those 5 niggas just don't give a fuck about her. That's all it is. They all got.
That's not the point.
And she's just a side piece.
But that's her point, though.
It's not a realistic. That's what I'm saying. It's not realistic. It's no woman has 5 men. You would not have 5 men bow down to you and be like, "Oh, we all gonna be your boyfriend, and we all gonna share you." It'll never happen. They'll tell you what they want you to hear, but it'll never happen.
I'm sorry. I think you're speaking on a perspective that exists only in your world, and you have to come out of that. There's a whole world.
Crazy.
No, I mean you can call it crazy. That could be one word for it. But there's a whole world outside of how you see things. You know what I'm saying? I don't want 5 men. I don't want anybody bowing down to me, but it exists.
It's women
for
out here
other
that
people.
do that though, bro.
No woman in her right mind.
I'm telling you, it's
we should have the
acceptable.
same perspective for men. Like, no real woman in her right mind should want to be in a relationship with a man and sharing that man with other women.
Women are perfectly fine with if he's the right guy. Bro, like you said earlier, if he checks out the box.
So why that can't work for women?
Because men aren't perfectly fine with it.
Bro, you missing the point.
Go ahead.
You ever been down to Figueroa in Los Angeles? That's why they making prostitution free. Like that one woman, she's sharing all the men coming to see her every single time, and she having an experience, and she getting paid, and she getting all her needs met every single time. See, that's the thing though. Like, I respect that. If a woman come and tell, I respect it. Now, whether if I do not do it or whatever, that's my own personal. But that shit really exists, bro. That's why Hugh Hefner made all that money.
I think I got it.
That's why porn exists though. That's why porn exists. I think I have to
repreface it. I think I have to reiterate. So we're talking about like a functional relationship, right? Now we're talking about trapping, and I understand that.
That's not trapping, bro. This porn is legal.
No. You said a chick on the street getting it, and I was referring to that.
Oh, okay.
And I dig that, and that's okay, and I don't judge that because it's a hustle. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
It's real thing.
What I was referring to initially is a functional household, right? Whereas these wives, it's more communal. Right, when wives get together, it's more communal. It's like the women; they all have their things that they all do, and it's one conglomerate. Right, they all together for one healthy household that has multiple heads in the unit that all have their own jobs, and it's efficient as hell if it works well.
Totally agree.
I can't see it. I can't see.
It's a matter of research.
I can't see
in
that
the household.
I get it.
Talking about a household.
One second, baby. It's a matter of research. It's a matter of looking into it and looking it up.
I have.
I mean, you can.
I know people who do this for real in real life. Multiple. I know a lot.
It doesn't mean it doesn't exist, Trev, because it sounds like you guys are pushing back against something because you want it to be just you that's having.
No, hold on. Can I make a point?
It's an outlier.
Smooth. Let me make a point. Earlier, you just got on her because she said she can't see herself in a polygamous situation because she hasn't had the experience to do so. You're saying you can't see a polyandrous relationship with a woman because of your experience from what you know as a man. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't work for some people. That's it.
They doing this at work. They doing this at work, bro.
One of my questions
work husbands.
What does realistic mean to you? Because technically, it's only real. It's only real because it's what's been happening in your life. That's your only way you can see because of only what's happening in your life. So it's only realistic to you because of what you could see. If you can't see it, it's now unrealistic or non-existent or not possible.
You said something, man, that made great sense. You can have one man, 4 women in a house together. Works. One man, head of the household, all that. You can't do that with women. You can't have 5 dudes in the house with 1 woman. Who's the head?
Who's
leading?
You look at
They're
history,
going to be fighting this. It will not work.
It can't
there
work. There are queens that had multiple husbands and they function.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah.
Look it up. Do your research. I can Google it.
What if the queen appoints everyone to have a position?
Yeah, but
you're head of this. You're head of that. That's what he's doing.
There's
That's
pecking
what he's
orders
doing.
in life. There's pecking orders in life. So if she's a queen, but what we're talking about is that like the type of person that he described, a man who checks off all the boxes, is like that's a king, right?
But not everybody's a can.
We not, but that's why I'm not disagreeing with you. That's why I'm not. Did I disagree with y'all? I didn't disagree with y'all. That's why I'm telling my fellow gentlemen here that just because not everybody is a king, which I agree with you, that there are men, to your point, who will be able to be okay with that. And also to your point, the only way I can see it in my life, from my perspective, a man being okay with that is if he already got his main and you just a jump or you. That's why.
Or he's bisexual, because at that point he would be able to bring in another guy. Yeah, no, but hey, I'm just saying.
I don't know nothing about that.
Then there'll be multiple guys because at that point, there'll be multiple guys because at that point she's like, okay, well, you're attracted to me, but you're also attracted to him, so it would work.
I just see it the way I think of it is exactly how you put it. Is that like when I think of having a quote unquote like roster of women, it's like it's a you got your main, your number 1, your 2, your 3, and then your 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on how your roster, how long your money is. You don't care what 8 doing. I'm just keeping it a band with you, but you got 8 for whenever you need. But 8, you may not holler at her for like 3, 4, 5 months. And she already she doing whatever she doing with her man, her husband. She may even have a baby. But, you call 8, that's just the way I see it.
And then the whole purpose of a polygamous relationship is to build.
It's exactly.
So it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female. Someone is going to be the leader and appoint who to run. For men who is seen only men be leaders, it's hard to see a concept of a woman being that powerful.
Yeah.
But it's I'm telling you, darling.
Yeah, we know who Queen Bathsheba. You know who Bathsheba is.
I would challenge.
Who Bathsheba is.
I would challenge that with people just to name me one matriarch society that's actually successful ever in history.
It's a different topic.
Ever. Is it?
I don't know.
Is it? No, I'm just
saying. It is a different topic, low key.
Did we?
It is. She changed. Nola.
No.
She pivoted.
I'm just saying that. Like, if we're gonna say that you can't see a woman leading, I'm saying, okay, let's see how women lead. Let's look up and just find us one matriarch society that is actually successful and have flourished and have won wars and have actually built a society.
So is that the basis?
No. Listen, See, listen. Hold on.
We gotta stick on relationships.
No. We're there. But what I'm saying is, she said, I was just responding to her comment about women being able to lead.
I know that we're not interrupting each other, but let me jump in here because I think you're so committed to this point that you're not opening the doors for what's really happening in the world. I understand this is patriarchal. I know that men are so-called running things, right? I understand that the majority of these relationships does have a male at the center. What I'm saying to you is just because that's the dominant thing doesn't mean that the others don't exist, and they do. And even if you did research, let me look up to see. It might not be on the internet. But I've seen them on the internet. I've seen them online. And it's really, this conversation is really a matter of open-mindedness and saying, you know what? I'm not sure. I've never seen it, but it's probably out there, and I'm comfortable with that. I don't know why we're pushing back against something that we're saying we're never seen.
We're in 2024. Let's be realistic. There's a new weirdo every day, right? There's new ish that you're like, I didn't even think that was possible, but you saw it and you're like, I'm done with the world. Like, because it's just nothing. You just can't put nothing past nobody.
Be the light.
You don't know what people are doing behind closed doors. What
be the
they're
change you want to
practicing,
see.
You know what I'm saying? So
change your community.
Because if we're gonna base your views up on political sense, then we won't find, at least based off of my knowledge, we won't find what you're looking for. Because if we're going to look at Woman King, because you made a reference, you know, one of their pledges, which Woman King is real. It's based off of a real Dahomey tribe from Africa. That's a real thing.
He ready.
Okay. But however, the problem is they made a vow not to have men. So you won't find that. However, if you're talking about relationships, so we can't put those two together. Because when it comes to politics and ruling a kingdom or a government, we can't.
It starts in the home.
It's different. No. Because then you choose after that. Life is all about choices.
It starts in the home. Get your priorities straight. Starts in the home. Family first.
Okay, but it starts with a relationship. So we'll go on that.
The world is changing.
And
not everybody is cool with that.
And everything develops differently. So if even if you have a man and a woman, and that's the relationship you've seen all your life, and you grew up and you said, you know what? I'm going to go into politics. I'm going to defend my country. I'm going to whatever. And you choose to go into a group of women who's sacrificing their femininity to embody a masculine energy to protect their whatever it is, kingdom. They can't have a man, because guess what? That would mean they will have to denounce their masculine that they pledge to arise in themselves down. So they can't have a masculine, because they know regardless, we have power. We have a feminine power. You have a masculine power. We understand the dynamics that what you bring, but in order for a relationship to really work, you have to know what your queen is bringing. In order to run a kingdom, that's in relationship and that's in politics. That's in relationships, period.
Vetting process.
Those are two totally different things.
Vetting process.
That's chess, checkers. You need to know who you gotta know how to.
Yes, girl. Yes.
You gotta know.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
I love how people premise things and they start off a sentence with "It's 2024."
I mean,
and
is.
Hold on. Yeah, I digged all that, right? But you know what's crazy? We're the only mammals on the planet who don't understand that pussycats do pussycat things, dogs do dog things, and then we feel like we need to be so sophisticated sometimes, like we about to change the game up, and like you're about to make a man's mission any different. We are wilding out here. Like, are we? I'm not.
No, yeah, say that again. Y'all are wilding out here in these streets.
Hold on one second.
Listen, hold on. I'm not done. I'll let y'all cook. I'll let y'all finish your thoughts, and y'all gonna do the same. Y'all gonna give me this. You gonna afford me the same respect, right? That's all I need. So what I'm trying to say is that I don't want people to like. I'm not gonna go ahead and try to kill the whole Woman King situation, right? That right there was a completely fabricated story. It's been documented.
Parts of it.
Documented.
Get off it. Get off it. Get off it. Get off it.
I'm going to leave it there.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave it there. Anyone who don't believe me, just
He's
watch.
right. Parts
Go ahead
of
and
it.
dig it.
Yeah.
The parts of it. Yeah. Right.
Come on.
Right. I'm going right past that. I'm going right past that.
It's getting good.
I'm going right past it.
Cook.
But what I'm trying to say is that us as humans, right? We haven't really changed, right? There's evolution. There's certain things. There's technology that changes, but it's always been the same thing. There's still Jezebels, right? There's still Jacobs. No matter how you look at it, it's the same thing. It's a different story, but it's the same thing. Like we try to make it as if this is some type of evolution and everything. But when you look at it, we've started to change it. We tried to change things. We tried to change the dynamic, and we tried this whole power struggle. Women do have power. You damn right about that. Women have power.
Misused.
You have power in your femininity, but you know what? You're using it wrong.
Thank you.
You're listening slow.
Yes.
and that's the problem right here.
You're right.
Y'all,
You're right.
Biting the apple.
We do have power.
Listen, let me tell you
And
something.
a lot
you
of
can get
women
a man
are
to
not
do everything for you.
You know
Listen,
what? Give me a high
hold on,
five.
yes.
No, seriously.
Hold on, time out. Let me
My
tell you
mom
something.
said
Let me tell
the
you something.
same
You can
thing.
get a man. You can get a man
It's true.
to do everything for you.
Yes.
What you have to understand about men is that men want to serve women in his family. That's how we really feel. That makes us feel good when we are able to provide for our family and give them everything that they want.
That makes you
That
feel,
makes
yeah.
us feel better.
Right.
Like for my wife, all I want to do is make sure she is good. I've done retired her for the last 10 years. All I want to do is make sure her life easy. She can rest easy. My kids can rest easy. My kids got
Ooh,
like,
generational wealth.
This is what
Come
I love
on.
to do. This is what I live for. I live for my family, right? But if she wasn't resting in her femininity, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Right. So your power is in your femininity, not in your masculinity. And that's the problem. That's where women get it wrong. They think that they become more powerful when you are masculine. That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Stop it.
But they had to be
more powerful when you rest in your goddamn femininity. Can we talk about
he preaching right now. He preaching.
Can you rest in your femininity? Look, I'm going to put you in position too. I'm going to make your life easy. Anything that I can do to elevate you, that's what I want to do. If you want to work, it's selective, but you can. If you will, I'm going to support you. I'm going to do everything to do it. When my wife said she told her to do social media, I'm like, I'm going to buy your damn equipment. I'm going to put you on. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you everything that I know. You go ahead and do it. That's what you want to do. Go ahead.
The thing is about polygyny, can a woman, that's the thing though. Yeah. See what he talking about, that's why a man can do that for several women.
Yeah, but he got to be a man of means.
He got to be a man of means. Hold up.
Got to be a man of means.
Can a woman do that for men? Does she want to? In 2024,
because
my problem.
The answer is no.
2024 is that a lot of men take advantage of polygamy.
That is because if
that's what happens in 2024.
You can't take advantage of it if it's that's what he's talking about. If you take advantage of it, that means that a woman doesn't have any accountability in what decisions she's making. What we talking about is on the table. A man of means comes and presents it, and now a woman with the same power that he went on, that y'all agree with, agrees to that. That's what we talking about.
She has to agree.
So a man taking advantage, a man can't ever take an advantage of that thing.
Yes, they can manipulate a situation to where
a woman could too, but we not talking about them.
But
let's put them over there. I agree with you, but let's put them over there.
The woman is manipulating. You're saying she has to agree, but if a man is telling her X, Y, and Z and not telling her about a polygamist,
you sound scared. You sound scared.
What do you mean?
Because if is the middle word of life, ma'am. I got you. I want you to understand this. A woman can do the same thing. I could go out and tell a woman that I make X, Y, and Z a month, a year, whatever else, and tell her everything she needs and check those boxes off and be a genuine man. But she can manipulate the situation too. A woman can be just as manipulative than a man.
100%.
We're not talking about character issues right now.
We're not saying that.
Let's put that to a side. What we talking about is a mutual agreement. What she described, what she was in, what he described in the beginning of the conversation. That a man who checks all your boxes as a woman, and obviously you have to check his too. That's why he talking to you, right? So if y'all coming to the table with some real genuine stuff, and he says this is how I operate, and she's agreeing to it, we're trying. His question is the women in the room. What is your take on that? Is that capable? Is that possible from your perspective? Right. So when we talk about people that have character flaws, issues, lying, cheating, finessing, whatever else, anybody can do that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
we're talking about.
We're not talking about. We're not talking about
not just a healthy dynamic.
Yeah, healthy dynamic.
That's what he That's what he said. Right.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. I don't see.
Right.
I mean, that's actually the best way to do it.
I think that's what dating is.
You're supposed to.
And that's the problem. That's what dating is.
But my whole thing is what I want to say is to Smooth in the room, all the passion we just put into women not sitting in their feminine energy for men to do whatever and try and be masculine. Can we talk about the men of 2024 that are trying to mooch off of women and trying to make women? Can we address the men that are not being the regular provided?
So this is gonna be a different topic. Topic. So what's the topic?
Look, the mic was moved. Hold on. yeah.
Can we just address those men?
So address the men that what? This is a new topic. Address.
So
the men.
I want us to address, because we constantly address women not being in their feminine energy. I 100% agree with everything that Smooth said. Yes. But we cannot ignore the fact that the way society has shifted, they have made it so that men are feeling more comfortable being in their feminine energy and are acting more feminine, and that is causing the women to also act more masculine. I can say right now that they're off of the top of my head, there is multiple men that I could think of right now that are sitting at home while his girl is working and he's taking care of the kids or whatever it is, and the roles switch. So can we address those men just as passionately as we just address these females that are too much in their masculine?
Those 1, 2, 3, all men going to address that.
Those men are losers. They're watering down the dating pool, and that's why women are all still chasing the top high-end dudes, because you got these losers watering it down. And those aren't the men you want anyway. The Pookies and the Ray Rays who want to sit on and mooch off of a woman, they're not real dudes.
They aren't.
But
we need to address why is this happening so much?
I don't know. But if the women are picking those men, it's something wrong with the woman to pick those guys. As a woman, you should be. I'd rather my sister share a multimillionaire than my sister be sitting with 5 kids with some ghetto dude in the projects. I'm not gonna judge my sister if she got some millionaire dude who I know got side chicks. Well, I mean, but you got all this, and this. Well, it will come with the territory. I'm gonna tell my sisters. But if my sister got some loser in the hood, that's her fault. She picked him. He didn't beat you upside the head and make you come with him.
I would say the reason why it's happening is because there are, families. The family dynamic is not a big deal. I think there's a real thing about when you have a baby with somebody. If you choose to have a baby with somebody, being able to stick it out, him, her, whatever, that's your responsibility. So now, if you have to raise a child, whether it be male or female, raising a child by yourself, you have to tell a woman or a boy or a girl to be able to survive on their own. That's the mentality when you raising a child. You got to be able to raise them on their own. So because, like you said, biologically, there's usually more women in the world than there are men. Women are growing up in America to be able to have to be more masculine, take on these more masculine roles to provide for themselves. A man, to your point, a loser, if he wants to be with any type of woman, a man who doesn't really have anything about himself, but he wants women affection, and you want a man, but this is pretty much the best you can get because it's hard to find a nigga that you gonna be with who's an upper echelon that to share him with 50, 5 other women. So if you don't, that's the dating pool right now, right? So because that's the dating pool, most likely women are going to err on the side of just selling them what they got to do, and that's that man. And a man gonna be like, shit, I really don't have to do nothing because she said she gonna do it. And me personally, I know that exists. At the same time, I'm not wired like that. My daddy didn't raise me like that.
And I agree. Like, I'm not saying that makes up the majority of men as a whole, but that is what is something that is really trending in our society.
I don't know. I don't know what's trending in our society, so I'm not going to speak on that or talk to that. It's
currently trending in our society.
I don't know, but what I can tell you is from what I see, because nothing new is under the sun, and I read Ecclesiastics, and I'm a religious type person. What I see is that if that's the case of what is going on in society and what is in social media, if a woman was to err on the side of being more feminine, then a man he's undoubtedly going to be forced to think like that. But unfortunately, that is not the case for the men in our society. Second, what I strongly believe is that there's certain morals and values and leadership that we have to start doing in the younger youth that has to change that. And that's what we have to change in our communities. But I think at the point in time with a woman, if she decides to take care of a man or do whatever, she has to hold herself accountable too, which brings about these type of topics. If she doesn't want to do that and she has a black man who is over 6 foot tall and meets all the boxes that y'all want, if that's the man with that type of mentality that you say in society now is a dime a dozen, when you find that man, are you willing to share him if you can't give him 10, 15, 8, 10 babies? That's why that conversation comes up. Right. Because it's the mentality of me.
So now to go into what she was just saying a little bit deeper. It's his turn. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna go with this because on some real, I advise men to eliminate bad women out of the dating pool, right? So I think that that precedence still should be the same thing when it comes to eliminating bad men out of the dating pool, right? And we say that men are good at compartmentalizing. I'm going to say women are better. Might be controversial, but when you think about it, I understand women and I know that they will purpose you. They will have you sitting here for the money. You, the dudes that are sitting there and talk on the phone with it. Me, I'll be the D supplier. I ain't mean to place it that way, but but I'm just saying. But y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So that's the thing. Women will compartmentalize and be able to accept this from this dude, accept that from that dude. None of those dudes are a solid man. None of them. And they will accept that, and they will deal with these dudes, and these dudes will have a place. Right? No, don't give him nothing. It's all or nothing. If he ain't that dude and he don't check enough boxes, and we're not expecting you to expect perfection. Hold up, let me cut. So that's fine. We don't have to have perfection, but it has to be acceptable for you, right? As a woman, you're supposed to understand where you land in the sexual marketplace, right? There's a bell curve. Find out where you are in the averages. If you're a 5, you got to get a 5 as a man. That's what's available. It's unrealistic to try to think 3, 4, 5 points up. We have a lot of men who do that too. And I tell them, stop playing. You ain't like that. You can't get that. You're not gonna get her. They say she ain't your speed. You punching out your weight class. Cut it out. Right? So I'm gonna tell the women the same thing. You have to recognize that if it's a dude that's up here, you gotta understand. Once a dude check a lot of boxes, that dude is gonna be attracting a bunch of women.
Vetting process.
And dudes will definitely punch down. As a dude, we damn sure gonna punch down. I could be a 10 considered by women, and I'm going down to a 3. So you got to understand, I'm taking everything coming in my direction. Now, I'm not going to take you seriously. You're not going to be my wifey, but you in the roster. And a lot of y'all thinking because y'all in the roster that you got a shot. No, you don't. You don't.
But so my
Unless
whole
we
thing
tell
is
you.
with that is,
no, it's real.
and it kind of goes into what she was saying about the deception of it all when it comes down to these relationships that we put ourselves in. If you have someone that's presenting one way, right? And say he bags any of the females in here, any whatever female, she could be on his caliber, below it, whatever. She could check the box or whatever. But because he's hurt and has issues, he decides to go ahead and hurt her and ruin her and those issues. The guys that have it all and can do all the things.
I don't like that scenario. I don't like that
what
scenario.
What do you do about those type of dudes?
I don't like that scenario because at the end of the day, a man, that type of man in which you just painted,
like what? But you know what I'm talking about.
You paint a picture as if a woman don't have no, like she can't make her own choice, and that's the thing that I'm saying.
But
no, it's not. It's only real
with the dude.
It's only real.
But what if she chooses to be with the dude? She's in her feminine energy. She's doing everything with dude, and dude's being deceptive. And so she leaves or
you
whatever.
Sound
I'm
scared.
saying there's a
you
whole
sound
pattern.
scared. You sound scared.
No, I'm saying, what do you do about the pattern? Because you're saying there are men that could check. No, I'm not talking about a woman staying. I'm talking specifically about the dudes. Because I know dudes that have money, they check off all the boxes, but because they got screwed over by one female, now they go down the roster and continue to have that cycle happen.
This is why I say you sound scared, and that if that's your perspective, you should not be dating at all. And this is why that can happen on both sides. I hate when women say that. A woman can do the same exact thing. But listen what I'm saying real quick. I'll let you cook. Like he say, let me cook. A woman can do the same exact thing to a man and take him. She can even marry him and say, and take half of his shit.
And I'm not disagreeing with you.
But listen to what I'm saying. I understand your perspective, but we gotta stop as male and female having this scary ass mentality every time they want to go out in society and every time they see something bad. Fear is a choice. You wasn't born with fear. Because if you was born with fear, you wouldn't be walking around this motherfucker. I'm trying to tell you, that's your perspective, and you should sit down on the sideline and let the niggas and females that's ready to have fun and really trying to meet somebody be unapologetically you, because each and every one of us is not going to be here 100 years from now.
Right.
So anybody running around here with fear in their mind, you got to stop that shit. So what? You ain't perfect, and nobody else was. Understand and be willing to have the dialogue and to your point, if the man is being deceptive, if he ain't hurt you, if he ain't did nothing to you, why the fuck does it matter?
This is
This
is all I just wanted to be said.
But listen to what I'm saying. Stop trying to want to know and all these motherfucking questions, because if a man thought that, you wouldn't eat. He wouldn't be able to bring home the food to take care of himself. If he thinking, oh, if she doing this and doing this, he not even be able to focus at work to make the money.
Yeah.
Listen, have y'all ever heard overthinking leads to underdoing?
That's the point.
That's real.
So if you gonna be scared, if you gonna be scared, take your scary ass home and go read and be religious instead of energy and all that. I believe in energy too. Trust me. You see what I got on my wrist, but you gotta understand. Fear is not something that we was made with. Go live your life.
It's real.
It's a state of mind. What the fuck does it matter?
Fear is something you created. It's literally something you made up in your head.
You just made up in your mind. What if he doing this and this, that, and now it becomes a real reality.
It's a what if.
I want to just be clear. I only put it out there because I don't disagree with what you said, but this is with my job. I deal with hurt people, right? I deal with hurt people. What you said, I just want to have someone on internet somewhere say it. I just want to hear it get said, because that is what's happening. Hurt people. And what ends up happening is I'll have my clients come to me like, well, F everybody else because I got hurt. Now it becomes a chain and a cycle, and we're not going to fix no relationships. It doesn't matter if it's polygamous, monogamous, whatever.
Can I interject
if we're not, let
her finish her thought.
I want to interject.
Then you got it.
I'm gonna sit on this because you said something when you were talking about your children, and you said it takes a village.
It takes a village,
and the village never goes away.
Yeah,
that's what you have to understand. That a child, it continues to be a child when they reach a certain quote unquote age, but the villages don't disappear, and that's what happens in the Black community. Stick together and have and that village stays there. So when you are hurt, you can call somebody else than your mama or your auntie, whoever else. You have somebody to help you through the shit. Don't just be like, oh, I'm handling it by myself and niggas ain't shit and women ain't shit and who can be running around with all this fear. Go back to the village that raised you.
Exactly.
And that's what I was telling you.
But unfortunately,
it starts with the family. It starts with the same village. And of course, there are individuals who didn't have that. So I'm not talking about them, and I understand that's a separate conversation. Those who did come with the village are able to provide that for those who don't have them.
Yeah.
And that's my point. So that's my point. And my point is that if anybody want to be in relationships, that scary shit, take that shit home. I don't want no scary female around me because you're not gonna come be your full self. I'm gonna come be my full self because we as men, we have to be. Y'all not gonna fuck with us if y'all not.
That's real.
So can I say this?
Healing has to happen, people. I agree with all of this. You do? I agree with all of that.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. Because honestly, if a village is going, okay, so y'all don't know me. I'm from Jamaica. I have a compound.
Wagwan.
Yeah. So I was raised by my family, by my village. The problem with that is that it creates a lot of animosity, and it raised people to start being against each other as families because you raised so close. You go back to talk to Uncle Billy, and Uncle Billy done told Uncle Joe, and now Uncle Joe done told Sarah, and then everybody knows your business that you didn't want them to know, you know. And now you see, and now the perspective just switched because now we had like, yeah, you could go back to a village, but now my village is kind of turning on me. My village is now telling outside people my business. When I go out,
no boundaries.
It's not right.
That goes to boundaries. But not only that, honestly, a lot of relationship issues is people not knowing themselves. You know, like people not really knowing, being aware, and understanding themselves. So they do things and not even like in their own
just
little
bubble.
Reacting, not in just in their own little bubble. And everybody lives in their own little world. And we can't just blame people. It's so easy to just be like, oh, she did that. But really and truly, they live in their own bubble and don't even understand what they just did to you or affecting or asked you or anything like that. And you have to be real enough to realize like, okay, wait, let me take a step back. Let me figure this out real quick. Let's have that dialogue. But people ain't ready to be that real with themselves.
No, I would agree with that. I would say one point I'm gonna say just to clarify. I don't think when I say raise a village, I think when you hit 21, you become an adult, quote unquote, in America, right? So I'm not an advocate of you running to your family and your folks and telling you what's going on in your personal life when you reach an adulthood, right? I think for me is what I mean by a village. You know, I think from what I'm talking about is as you grow into adulthood, you have to establish your own. That's why
your relationships,
That's why your
own community,
your own support system. And to your point, exactly, and that's why I'm about to touch on your second point. And your second point, which again is I agree with everything you said. Your second point is knowing yourself, which will help you cultivate and choose why your own village and your own support system will be what it is today. And I think that to your point, that is very, very important for you to be able to understand your own perspective, the things that you have to work through, the reasons as to why whatever decision that you made got you in the position that you in. And that comes with a lot of accountability, which is how we got on the conversation. When the way you phrased the question was like, this woman is just sitting back, she ain't got this, but it's like one thing I can't stand about women sometimes in 2024 is that y'all pick and choose when y'all want to be feminine. Like you can say like she can say, oh, well, what? It's women out here got 5 dudes and wooty wooty woo. As men, that's very masculine. But y'all don't want to hear that. But then you phrase the question when y'all all shake your head. It's cool when what a man being manipulative and she's just sitting back and she don't know. And it's just like, but how a woman that's like that, they not gonna let no man do that. Y'all can't pick and choose. So y'all as a collective of women, black women, have to choose which side of the spectrum y'all gonna be on. Y'all hate to say it's not as black and white, but life and death is just as black and white. It's just as black and white. You can die or you can live. And that to me is like what life looks like to you. Reality. If you don't want to be that woman, if you don't want to take the role, if you want a man in your life, we're not talking about the alphabet community respectfully. But if you want a man in your life, then you have to choose that I have to stand on this side and stand on this side. And what that looks like for me, I just have to be an adult and communicate that and choose my village. That's all I gotta say.
So what I'm hearing
goes
is
for men too.
I'm
the
sorry,
same
babe.
goes for men too. It goes both ways.
So what I'm hearing is if you're standing firmly in your masculinity or you're standing firmly in your femininity, you cannot acknowledge that certain things exist. Is that what you're saying? No. Acknowledgement that something occurs, acknowledgement that something that you've observed is happening doesn't mean that you are in agreement with it or that you are okay with partaking in it. It's an observation and it's an acknowledgement. And also, I'm just gonna drop this really quickly. I think a lot of us, we want to go into these relationships. We want things to be perfect. We want things to be black and white, and it's not, right? We want things to be perfect. You go into a relationship. If you don't know yourself, don't go into a relationship. Find yourself first. If you're this, don't da da da. A lot of times we learn ourselves in relationships. You can't learn yourself being in a room by yourself. You learn yourself by interacting with other people. And a lot of times the relationships is what magnifies things in front of you and helps you understand, oh, damn, I didn't even know that I was such and such and such. You know what? I want to work on that. Let me do something about that. Sometimes you learn yourself in relationships. You don't have to go into a relationship being perfect. You don't always.
I completely understand that, right? I completely understand that. However, it's always a situation where it is control what you can control, right? We understand that as a youngin, we don't know everything and we're learning. But that's the very early phases, right? I don't think any of us here today are in the very early phases, right? We all know better. We're all grown. We're all adults, right? Why are we even dwelling in that realm right now, right? Like I understand that in the beginning, it's the beginning. But as grown folk, you start to understand what's right and wrong, right? It doesn't take you very long to calibrate. You know what people like, you know what people dislike, right? It doesn't take you very long to learn that. You could touch and feel all you want, and it's going to be quick. It's not something that takes long. You know what aggravates people. You know what soothes people. Like, it doesn't take us very long to understand that. So I can, hold on. I ain't done. I ain't done. But what I'm saying is, when you are giving a valiant effort, right? I can promise you, just from at least the man's perspective, if you are willing to learn, you're willing to listen, right? And you are willing to actually fulfill what you can, there's no man who's not patient enough, right? I can tell you as a dude, I had women who didn't know how to do certain things off rip, and I was like, ugh, this ain't, you know what I mean? I had to give him the brother, ooh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all like, you ain't ready yet. But we have patience. Mm-hmm. Men have patience if we know that you have
other qualities.
Yeah, right? Even if you don't have other qualities, you just have the willingness,
gotcha.
Right? If you are a nurturer, right? If you are considerate,
that's
right? These are the things that you cannot be without. You can't be without consideration. You have to be a nurturer, right? And you have to be willing. Those are the only things you need to come into the relationship with. I don't need nothing else coming with those 3 things. Women, if you don't know how to cook, just be willing to learn, because I can show you. Guyanese men, they know how to cook and they will teach you. If you don't,
yes, sir.
Right? Fine, right? You don't know how.
Come on, Bana.
You don't know how to give out no McLovin. I'll get you right. Give me 2 weeks. Any lady,
all
2 weeks.
right.
I'm gonna have you on a video program. We're gonna study a couple things. I'm gonna get you right. 2 weeks. That's why when women say, "Oh, y'all want whores," no, we don't. We want a nice woman who's willing. and I'm gonna get you on a program to get you right in 2 weeks. I swear to God, 2 weeks, I will get you right.
Can I add a fourth to your list?
You will be able to. You will be able to. So that's it. And consider it. Consider it by nature. That's something that you can't work on. Well, you can work on, but it's tough, right? No. Compromise. I don't like the meaning of compromise. The compromise. When you say compromise, both parties are losing. I don't want you to take out of yourself. If you don't feel like, if you're not a nurturer, you ain't compromising and being a nurturer. That's impossible. If you were a nurturer, you're not compromising because that's what you want to do by nature. There you go.
All right.
Right. So if you were a nurturer, there's no need to compromise because you were doing what you do by default. By default. Right? So dig. If you come in as a nurturer, that means you want me to do well. Right? And if you want me to do well, we're gonna do well. Because when a woman start giving that type of energy to a dude, he not gonna let you beat him. I'm gonna be better at you be giving. Men ain't gonna let you beat. I'm competitive with my woman. If she try to give me something, I'm gonna try to give her more. You understand that? Men like that. We don't let you outdo us. You can't outdo me with the good. No. That's how we feel as men, and that's what I'm just trying to tell you. Like I said, I'm trying to get us some game real quick. Women, listen. Your best bet is to be those three things. You have to be considerate, you have to be a nurturer, and you have to be willing. If you possess those three qualities as a woman, you ain't gonna lose. You'll be able to obtain and retain any man you encounter. But it takes a conscious effort, right? It takes a conscious effort, and it takes ego aside, and it takes having that will to just be like, you know what, it's for the greater good, and it's for your family. And I promise you, he's gonna pour back into you. Most men, unless you really pick the bad one. But most men, a lot of the men that y'all overlook. And I'm telling you right now, because y'all got a dude. What the one thing that I hate that women do is they find ways to eliminate men easy, right? They find an ick. Men don't have icks like that. The ick, what the hell is that? I know what it is, but what the hell is that? You find a reason to disqualify men. Women get so much play that they find frivolous reasons to disqualify qualified men. And that's, you were eliminating your husband and somewhere in the mix, and you picking the F-boy that everybody else want. And guess what? He got way more options than that. You for something frivolous. Sometimes, he kind of awkward. So what? Y'all don't have the same patience we do, because he might be willing to love you. He's going to be willing to love you.
You know what? Women have to go through certain things in order to say that they want a man that has all those things. That's true. And you know, they have to go through life. If they haven't learned or go through nothing, they're not gonna say like, you know what, I probably overlooked. Because I tell you right now, the man that I'm married to today, I did overlook him in a sense. Right. And he came back around the second time. Thank God. Fortunate. And God was like, here. He was here all along.
I got a question for you. That's real. Why did you overlook him?
Okay, so a little backstory. When I met my husband.
Next topic. Why do women overlook men?
No. I'm gonna get into it. When I met my husband back in 2013, I had just gotten out of a relationship that I was already in for about maybe a year or two, and I wasn't in that headspace. One, I was younger, and two, I wasn't in that headspace. So at the time when he was trying to court me, I wasn't ready. I wasn't mature, and I'm honest about that. I wasn't mature. I wasn't ready. And so we remained friends, but we still dated. We still went out, hang out and stuff like that, but I didn't put no title. There was no commitment.
Soft dating.
Yes, soft dating. Oh, I like that. Soft dating, because everything is soft these days, right? Yeah. Okay, right. So fast forward, we probably talked or, soft dated for maybe some months, but somewhere along the lines, we kind of went our separate ways or whatever the case may be. And he ended up getting married, and he was in a terrible marriage for like 5 years. So when he and I rekindled in 2018, it was like, okay, I know what I want, because I want a relationship. I want marriage. I want all these things. And he was coming out of a bad marriage. So it just worked. Not only our families know each other, but it was like it was meant to be. And I'm now looking, my eyes are now open, because now I'm like, I have my daughter, and I want her to know what a real relationship looks like, what a 2-parent household looks like. And this is the man that is going to do that. Yeah. He is all she knows. So that's daddy. And then we were able to make 2 more beautiful children on top of that. So it can be done. It's there. And so I'm like, I have to take Jamila out of the equation and stop doing things the Jamila way and now focus on things that would actually work and make sense. And it's like, okay, stop putting all these things in this list that you want in a man. Like, as long as he's good to you, he's able to provide, like you said, he's willing, all these things, he's right there. It can come naturally. Right in your face. Right in your face. Right.
So I'm listening to you talking. I cannot help but to hear you say the same things a lot. I don't want to judge you, but if I close my eyes and I hear you talk, I'm like, man, she was in her prime. She didn't want him. She didn't want him when she was in her prime. You dated other men. He wasn't your first choice. You might not admit that he was not. No,
he was. Yeah, I admit that. I said he
overlooked him. You friend zoned him. He wasn't your first choice, nigga. I don't want you. Move years down the road. You know, time done passed. You probably had a kid by another man. He had kids by other women.
No, he doesn't have any kids.
He never had any kids. You had okay. Yep. He went through a bad marriage. 5 years. You said 5 years.
Yeah, and thankfully he did not have any kids because that would have been another.
You disqualified him even more. It's just like maybe he goes through a bad marriage. It's almost like you settle for him later on in life, and I feel like he was he always wanted you, but you were like a second place consolation prize to me. I feel like if you'd have got the other man you want in your prime, you would have never came back for that man, like ever. And I tell dudes, don't ever do that. I said if you meet a chick and she's 23 and you're 33 and she don't want you then, move on, bro. Don't wait till 8 years later, she come back and she's 30 now. She ain't 23 no more. She's like, hey, what's up, Stefan?
Well, I would be like, I did not come. He actually reached out to me.
He kept coming to you because he really want you his first choice. You was his first choice. He wasn't yours. He was not. I feel like you won on that. I feel like you in this. No, I'm not trying to judge your marriage. I feel like you won in this situation. He didn't. It's like I put you on the back burner for 5, 6, 7 years. Now I come back and get you because you came back around. You a little puppy. You a nice guy, good boy. I wouldn't say that. That's my what I got out of everything you said. I'm not trying to judge you.
No, because I kind of gave you the Cliff Notes version.
That's all I needed.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. How it happened was more so at that time. Again, like I said, I wasn't.
How old were you when you met him?
In my 30s. I was 30. I was 29. Sorry, when I married him.
I know. How old were you when you met him?
Oh, met him. I was 21.
Perfect.
20. You said perfect.
That was perfect. That you were absolutely in your peak years. You were like, nah, I'm gonna keep searching. I don't know. I feel like you overlooked him because you even said y'all was friends. You like kind of friend zone dude. And you moved on.
I didn't friend zone him.
You did.
No, when he sought me out, I was very honest with him of where I came from. I said I just got out of a relationship. He knew that. However, that did not diminish or stop me from wanting to know. I want to know everybody. I want to know you. I'm that person. So it doesn't matter what type of relationship we can form laying down the line. However, in that moment, he knew that I wasn't ready to be in a relationship, and he was okay with that.
From what I know about women, they could be in a relationship. If they want you and you're their first choice, that don't matter. The chick I was been dealing with since I came to Texas, I met her. She was talking to somebody. Quit talking, dude, and start talking to me. Like what you're saying, I hear what you're saying. I just got a relationship. I wasn't ready to date no more. If you really wanted to do with a burning desire, that wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered.
No, not necessarily. Because for me, I like to give my all into a relationship. So it has nothing to do with if I really wanted him, I would have went after him. Because I've done that, and guess what? I'm the one that ended up hurt, or I'm creating a whole dangerous situation. So that's not the case at all. However, when I decided like, hey, I was actually ready to date him actually after a few months, after like 6 months or so. And there's something that I said that he didn't click and register. And I'm like, well, you could go to Huntsville if you want to, but I'm not following you after and going to Huntsville. And he didn't, something in wires got crossed and he didn't understand or whatever the case may be. And he said, all right, well, whatever. So I actually gave him an opportunity, but he didn't catch on until like way after the fact. And then he ended up getting married to someone. He even said it. He said, I married her just because, to be honest, because it was a lot going into it. He was hurt in a whole bunch of other situations. So at the time when he reached out to me and he said, I thought about you in my marriage for about 4.5 years. Damn. Right.
I think she has something.
But go ahead.
I was just gonna me personally.
Yeah.
I'm just saying statement, no disrespect or anything, but like me personally, if I swerved him, that's it. Like it ain't no running back because I swerved him the first time. Like that's just. But then
no. But I didn't. I think you guys are missing. I didn't swerve him because I said I was actually ready to date him at a point.
Yeah. So before you weren't ready to date him.
No, I just came out of a relationship, a whole 2 years.
You
I wasn't
ready to date
period. Yeah, it didn't matter if LeBron walked in there. Nobody. Like, if I don't want to deal with you, I don't want to deal with you. I'm very.
Pass up on LeBron?
Yeah.
You lying
First
about
of
that?
all, yeah, because I definitely care about LeBron.
You lying about that?
But
it seemed like he was.
I'm very direct. I'm very direct.
Why are you like that?
Yeah, I'm very direct. So I know what I want in that moment. If I don't want to deal with you, I don't want to deal with you.
It seemed like he's a really good man. He has a lot of great traits and qualities. Because you said he's a good provider, a good this, a good. He had all the husband qualities that you didn't want at 21. You didn't. That wasn't your big number one focus at 21. Husband qualities. But I feel like later on in life, I'm just breaking down everything you're saying. This is what I'm hearing.
She said multiple times.
She just got out of a relationship. She said multiple times. I just got out of a long-term relationship.
I hear that, and for what y'all hear and what I hear when she says that, I hear excuse. But thank you. Thank God somebody agrees with me.
But hold up, I was honest. Hold up. I was actually.
So
no. I was actually honest.
May I ask a question? Doesn't this contradict the original point of don't go into a relationship if you don't know yourself? It's contradictory. So are we saying don't go into a relationship if you don't know yourself, or are we saying if the person checks all the boxes, doesn't matter if you don't know yourself?
So in my grown self now at 33 years old, I can answer that today with a different mindset. My mindset then, I was 21. Was I really thinking about? No, like, again, he was older than me. He's 7 years older than me. So at that point, I was not, he's in his later 20s.
I got you.
He was ready to settle. Right. I was not ready to be, one, again, in a relationship because I just got out of one. And two, I'm not thinking about marriage and all that other stuff. As I got older and had my daughter, a lot of things changed for me, right? When you become a parent, you think about things differently. So I started to slow down, and like I said, the Jamila way of doing things was not going to fly with my daughter.
Does it have to be unique? Does it have to be fascinating? It's fine. I'm trying to figure out the point here.
So
like, why are we keep driving the point that it's typical? We get it. We're all humans. Everything everybody in this room does is typical.
So
all of us.
I understand it, right? So here's what we have to appreciate.
Except Daryl.
We have to appreciate the fact that Jamila went in and said, "Look, she gave us a piece of her personal life, right? To discuss.
I respect that.
So that's respected, right? So yeah, we can't ignore that fact, right? Because a lot of people get on here and start capping and whatever. This is a real situation, and she understands that she's in a different frame of mind today. She's in a different frame of mind today, right? So I can grab the lesson from this, right? Because not everybody's going to be able to hit the light-skinned Steph Curry buzzer beater, right? That's not going to happen, right? She hit the buzzer beater, right? I don't want to encourage women to think that this is likely or common, because it isn't. And she understands that. So let's take that into consideration, that she understands that. That's why she came in as a lesson. I know we hear that because we were a lot of times the men. I can tell you personally, from personal experience, I was that man that was ignored. Early, not like as an adult. I understood how to get women by then. But before then, I was one of those ignored guys that if I didn't study and get better at it, I probably would have picked up a woman like way later after she already had children and all that. And I'm worried about my legacy, but then I got to take care of somebody else's. And I understand that part. And that's a tough part for us to deal with, right? That's tough as men to deal with that single mother stuff. It's tough. As a man, I just want to keep it real with y'all. That's something that we don't appreciate, right? So it's dealing with women who already have children prior to our relationship because we're worried about our legacy. That's real talk. So wait, hold on. Let me let's finish it. So I got to say that, but I can appreciate the idea of how she came with it, right? She understood that this is not likely. That's why she felt the need to bring attention to it. You dig what I'm saying? So that's it. So I want to give everybody an opportunity to give out some closing thoughts, right? So I will go around. Everybody, let's try to keep it about 30, 40 seconds apiece. And then whatever you want to say, I don't care what it is. But you got 30 or 40 seconds to do anything but give us a yellow tag on YouTube.
Well, I'm going to just, cap it off real quick and just say life isn't perfect. You have to know what you want. And if that's not clear, like you need to be able to communicate that. If that's not clear, me and my adult self now, I can say just fall back. Just do you singly as a dollar. Focus on self. Stop worrying about the next person. Stop worrying about where you are on the map. Focus on you and your health and your healing, and the right person, they'll be there waiting for you around the corner.
And to add on top of sis, once you focus on self, you will learn the qualities, you will learn your morals, your values, your integrity and stuff. You will know those things and you will find that in your partner. If we're talking on relationship, not even just a partner, in your community of people that you create, as Roman said earlier.
No, I know you want to say something.
I always want to say something. The idea of sticking to this thing that we've put together in society, this is how it's supposed to go. You walk this straight line when nobody is walking a straight line. I would encourage people to let go of that. You know what I mean? We're zigzaggy, up, down, swirling around, and that's okay. And I think that's what makes it fun. Zigzag, swirl around, have fun. You know what?
Don't play with me.
You know what?
I zigzag swirl around this motherfucker.
She's speaking that language, huh? Carry on.
I can't breathe.
How y'all all dropping mics?
I'm confused by this mic.
It was an analogy, guys.
Okay, yo, stop. Yeah.
I'm like, right.
It don't gotta go in my mouth.
You know
okay.
What?
Right. Let's start the song now. I guess what I would say is be transparent, be clear with your expectations and your boundaries, and communicate. When you're dating and you're trying to find whoever you're supposed to be with, you need to know what you want. You can't go in there, this is for women and men. You can't go in it like, oh, I think I want this, and then you realize someone does something you don't like and you're like, oh, but I don't like that, so now I want something different. Communicate what you want, what your boundaries are, what are you willing to accept, and what are your absolute no's. And if you can do that and be open to the fact that you may get rejected because of your ideals and what you want, and you may not get that person you like because you have opposing viewpoints, you will eventually find the person you're supposed to be with. So communicate, have your boundaries, and be transparent. That's what I gotta say.
No, you got something, man. Come on.
Yeah,
bro.
come on.
You got
Come on.
something, bro.
Come on.
I think that men and women are very different. The female experience and the male experience are vastly different. And when women give men advice, I think a lot of it is destructive for us. I feel like a man should not try to take too much advice from a woman, because she's going to give you advice from the feminine lens. Hey, I'm a woman. She just said something. You said zigzag. Men need to be structured, disciplined, and
She did mention the swirl, though. She definitely mentioned swirl.
Disciplined, and men need to chase excellence, because that's gonna make you attractive, and that makes everybody like you. But if you're a man, I'm just gonna do this zigzag. I'm gonna do what I want to do. It's like, bro, you're gonna be a loser. So, I think men and women live way different lives, and you need to focus on becoming a better man. So.
I liked the swirl, though. Like an ice cream cone.
Oh, it's on me? Yeah, it's on you, bro. I just think at the end of the day. No, I think, I believe in a higher source, a higher power. So develop your relationship with your higher source first. That will help you understand everything else. Second, as you get again to learn yourself and have a relationship with your higher source, whatever that may be, I think personally that relationships require sacrifice. I don't care if you're a relationship with a damn dog. Relationship with yourself, if you want to be a different person you were in 2023 to 2024, requires sacrifice. So I think if we understand that and we have a relationship that we forge with our creator, whoever you believe in, whatever your God is, it should help you understand that if I want to have the same relationship with somebody else, the way my God works, is that I have to be able to sacrifice and think outside of myself and of the collective. And I think it's easier for me to say that as a man because that's what quote unquote society aligns with that. I think nowadays, with women, it's harder to understand, but yet you guys want that. But I think when it comes with a relationship with men, it may be a little bit all over the place, zigzaggy and all that shit.
Don't forget the swirl.
And a whole bunch of swirl. Cause like she said, y'all gonna come back to that nigga that y'all didn't passed up, and that's the swirl. That's the whole 360. But yeah. But anyway, I just say that like develop a relationship with your higher source, believe in something higher than yourself, and then that will help you develop a relationship with anybody else. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of took that zigzag and swirling completely out of context. I realized this point right now.
Me too.
I was thinking I was on another page.
And
it's
this
Saturday.
goes
It's
into
Saturday.
what he was saying about men and women.
No, I think I was underthinking. I was underthinking. Yeah, I was underthinking for sure. A lot more primitive what I was thinking. So listen, this is what I'll say about this. My whole purpose in doing what it is that I do, right? I think that I can't speak for JR with this, but I would imagine he's on the same plane, right? I feel like that relationships today need a lot of help, right? I think that the main thing is that our communication and our understanding are lacking, right? And I feel like it's hurting us as a society, right? I feel like we are at the bottom of the barrel as far as every metric measurable. And I believe a lot of that is because we have no family structure, right? When you talk about the amount of people who are raised by single mothers versus having a two-parent household, and you know the statistics on what happens when you come out of a single parent household, right? And I feel like a lot of it is when we're looking into family and legacy. We don't even care about legacy. I never hear anyone say legacy anymore, right? I hear people talk about what I want, what I need, and that's cool and all, and I dig that. But how damn selfish do we have to be? And I say this a lot nowadays, but I'm not going to stop saying this because I believe that we're going into relationships based on ourselves. Like we don't ever see the bigger picture. We never see the bigger picture. If we actually took a moment just to sit down and say, yo, what's the bigger picture? What do I even want to get married for? What do I even want? And when you look at the people who are successfully married, the people who do care about family, who care about legacy, they set themselves up, right? They leave behind wealth while we're leaving behind debt. What are we doing? Right? There's so many things.
What are we doing?
That's a different conversation.
Sure we have financial literacy. Why are you not making sure that our children have morals intact and we talk to them? We have the birds and the bees conversation. There's so many things that we need to be doing that we just missing on. We don't touch on things. We don't interact with our children as much as we could, right? And we need to. And we understand that there are a lot of fathers stepping up. Even surprisingly, Oprah Winfrey even said it. I couldn't believe it. Oprah Winfrey said that black men are spending more time with their children. And that's great that we're being recognized for it. But we got to do even more. And the reason why I say we got to do even more is because our metrics ain't matching their metrics yet. We have power. There's power behind us. But we have to execute. We have to be more focused on family and less focused on selves because there's a greater good. It's bigger than all of us, right? I didn't get married because I wanted to be with the woman forever. Honestly, for real. That's not why I got married. I got married to leave behind a legacy because I want to leave behind the car name. I wanted to actually leave something behind. I wanted my children to be well and my children's children to be well, right? I wanted to leave behind wealth. I wanted some of us to be able to expand and be able to have properties, to be able to have finances in order. Like, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things that we just not doing. There's so many things that we can do well, but the main thing is for us to stop thinking about relationships as ourselves and what do we want? Why do we got to be so damn greedy? We don't really need that much. Most of us, a lot of us spend a lot of time single.
Yeah.
So we can, yeah, that's right. But a lot of us spend time being single. If you can fulfill your own needs, why all of a sudden when you get with a partner, they got to fulfill all your damn needs? Why?
This society
Why?
now operates on a I'm entitled.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the problem in a lot of relationships. Well, a lot of one women.
Everyone feels like they're owed something.
Exactly, and that's a big issue because nobody don't owe you nothing.
Yes.
Nobody. Like no, you, not me. You know what I mean? And so people need to understand that, and that's how the relationship can be successful. Once you understand that he don't owe you shit until, and you don't owe him shit until, you'll be able to humble yourself and make this relationship grow.
That's real.
Nice.
That's real.
So I'm gonna you had your turn, but I'll let you get another 30, bro. Go ahead. Just for you, brother. Just for you. You got it.
Yes. Just be you. Just be you. Transparency is key. Transparency is key.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I said enough. We all had an excellent show here.
Except for me getting attacked by the microphone the whole time.
It is what it is. Sometimes you gotta charge the game. The microphone was trying to get active tonight. We had an awesome show. I'm gonna turn it over to the man, right? The myth, JR, to go ahead and close the show. Yes, the legend. You can't forget the legend. Close the show.
All right, what's going on, y'all? So I'm gonna go ahead and end it with this. Great discussion, first of all. So I want to thank you guys for your perspectives. But the one thing that I do want to a couple things I want to highlight is we're selfish and we're not being intentional. We're selfish and we're not being intentional. I think intentional needs to be a thought process, a mindset that we should exercise each and every day in everything that we do. I don't think as a society that we are intentional. We're not intentional when we date. We're not intentional when we're having these kids. We're not intentional with our work ethic. We're not intentional with our morals. We're just not intentional people. Yeah. And so I think that we have to, if we keep that at the forefront, making sure that when whatever it is that we do, that we're intentional, I think that we can better ourselves. We can become a little bit more self-aware as far as what we indulge in. And there's a lot of responsibility and accountability that comes with being intentional. It's not something that's easily done. So it's going to take some practice, but just start with one thing and then make sure that you incorporate that in your decision-making daily. The other thing is being selfish. We're selfish when it comes to listening. We're selfish when it comes to our priorities. We're just selfish people. If you're having a dialogue, a conversation, conversing with somebody, if you are not asking a question in regard to what it is that they just said to you, and you are saying, I had that same thing, I, that's a selfish act. Start listening to what it is that somebody is saying to you, and instead of giving an example about yourself, ask them a question about what it is that they said, because that shows a different level of care. That's also being intentional. So I think we need to better our communication as a whole, as far as when we're dealing with people, man, because you'd be surprised how deep of a conversation that you can go when you ask them questions about what it is. It's almost like you're showing that you're caring about what it is that they're exactly saying and doing. Even when it comes to somebody expressing something off a disagreement, instead of you saying I just try to incorporate, well, let me ask you this about what you said, because then you guys may be able to get to the root of the problem. So just take those couple things away as far as us being selfish, and we need to be more intentional. And I think that's at least a start. It may not be able to solve every problem, but maybe may be able to help someone.